Hyunwoo Park stepped off the transport ship and looked around. The space station was huge. Everything was white and clean, nothing like the dirty cities back on Earth. The air smelled like nothing at all, which was weird. Back home, air always smelled like something. Smoke, rain, or the ocean. Other students walked past him. Most of them looked nothing like humans. Some had blue skin, others had too many arms or eyes that glowed in the dark. A few floated instead of walking. Hyunwoo had seen pictures before, but seeing real aliens was different. He tried not to stare. A tall student with metal parts in his head walked up to him. "You must be the human," he said. His voice sounded like it came from a computer. I'm Tae-min. I will show you to your room." Hyunwoo followed him down long white halls. Everything looked the same. He wondered how anyone found their way around this place. "The other students are scared of you," Tae-min said as they walked. "Scared? Why?" "Because you are from Earth. Everyone knows Earth is a death world. They say humans are dangerous." Hyunwoo laughed. "Dangerous? I just want to learn about space science." Tae-min stopped walking and looked at him. "You laugh easily for someone from a death world." "Life's too short not to laugh," Hyunwoo said. "Besides, if I was really dangerous, would they let me come here?" Tae-min did not answer. He just kept walking. The next morning, Hyunwoo went to his first class. The room was big with curved walls. Students sat in floating chairs that moved around by themselves. A tall, see-through creature stood at the front. Its body looked like it was made of crystal. "Welcome to advanced xenobiology," the creature said. Its voice sounded like wind chimes. "I am Instructor Kyleth. Today we have a new student joining us." All the other students turned to look at Hyunwoo. He waved. Most of them looked away quickly. "This is Hyunwoo Park from Earth," Kyleth continued. "Please make him feel welcome." A girl with pale blue skin and big eyes smiled at him. She looked friendly, which was nice. Most of the other students still seemed scared. "Today we will study dangerous life forms," Kyleth said. "To help us, we have a special teaching assistant." The lights in the room got dimmer. Some students started to shake. Others pressed back in their chairs like they wanted to hide. "Students, please welcome Vextar of the Shadowkin." Something moved in the corner of the room. It was hard to see at first, like looking at smoke. Then it became solid. The thing was tall and thin, covered in what looked like living darkness. Its skin moved like black water. 2 red eyes burned in what might have been its face. The room became very quiet. Some students stopped breathing. Others made small, scared sounds. The blue-skinned girl gripped her chair so tight her knuckles went white. Hyunwoo looked at the creature and started laughing. It was not a small laugh or a nervous giggle. It was a real, loud laugh that filled the whole room. He laughed so hard he had to hold his stomach. Everyone stared at him. The shadow creature stopped moving. Even Instructor Kyleth seemed surprised. "Something is funny?" the shadow creature asked. Its voice sounded like rocks grinding together. Hyunwoo wiped tears from his eyes. Sorry, it's just... You guys really went all out with the scary entrance, didn't you? Very dramatic." The blue-skinned girl looked at him like he had lost his mind. "Do you not know what that is?" she whispered. "Some kind of space ninja?" Hyunwoo said, still smiling. "That is a Shadowkin assassin," Tae-min said from across the room. "They are the most feared killers in the galaxy. One could kill everyone in this room in seconds." Hyunwoo looked at the shadow creature again. It stared back at him with those burning red eyes. Okay, that's pretty cool, he said. Do you actually melt into shadows, or is it more like camouflage? The shadow creature, Vextar, tilted its head. In all its years, no one had ever asked it questions like this. Most beings could not even look at it without shaking. You are not afraid, Vextar said. It was not a question. Should I be? Hyunwoo asked. I mean, we're in a classroom. Are you going to kill me for asking about your biology? I could, Vextar said simply. But you won't, Hyunwoo said, because that would be really bad for your teaching career. Several students made shocked sounds. No one talked to assassins like this. The blue-skinned girl looked like she might faint. Instructor Kyleth made a sound like breaking glass, which meant it was nervous. Perhaps we should begin the lesson, it said quickly. Vextar moved back into the shadows but kept watching Hyunwoo. The human was different from anything it had ever met. Most creatures showed fear in its presence, faster heartbeat, sweating, shaking. This human's heart beat steady and slow. He was not pretending to be brave. He really was not scared. The rest of the class went by in a blur. Kyleth talked about dangerous space creatures, but everyone kept looking at Hyunwoo. They could not understand how someone could laugh at death itself. When class ended, students left quickly. They whispered to each other as they walked away. The blue-skinned girl stayed behind, looking at Hyunwoo with curious eyes. I am so Jin, she said. Are you really not afraid of assassins? Not really, Hyunwoo said. Should I be? Yes, Sojin said. Shadowkin are legendary killers. They have ended wars just by showing up. Most people cannot even stand being in the same room as one. Hyunwoo shrugged. Where I come from, everything wants to kill you. The spiders, the snakes, the jellyfish, even some of the plants. You learn to laugh about it or you go crazy. So Jin stared at him. What kind of world did you grow up on? Australia, Hyunwoo said. It's a continent on Earth. My dad used to say that if something in Australia isn't trying to kill you, you're probably not in Australia anymore. As they walked out of the classroom, neither of them noticed the shadow following them. Vextar had never met a being that interested him more than this strange human who laughed at death. Sojin could not stop thinking about the human. She had studied many different species in her years at the academy, but Hyunwoo was like nothing she had ever seen. How could someone laugh at a Shadowkin assassin? She found him the next day in the food hall. He sat alone, which was not surprising. Most students were still too scared to get close to him. Sojin took a deep breath and walked over. Can I sit here? She asked. Hyunwoo looked up from his meal and smiled. Of course. This food is weird, by the way. What is this purple stuff? Kehlani fruit, Sojin said, sitting down. It grows on my homeworld. You do not like it? It tastes like metal and flowers had a baby, Hyunwoo said, making a face. But I'll eat it. Food is food. Sojin watched him take another bite even, though he clearly did not enjoy it. Yesterday in class, she started, then stopped. You want to know why I laughed at the scary shadow guy? Hyunwoo said. Yes. How are you not afraid? Shadowkin assassins are trained from birth to kill. They move faster than most eyes can see. They can poison you with a touch or break your neck before you know they are there. Hyunwoo put down his fork. Okay, let me tell you about drop bears. Drop bears? Yeah, back home in Australia, we have these things called drop bears. They look like cute koala bears, but they wait in trees and drop down on people. They have razor-sharp claws and teeth like knives. They can rip your face off in seconds. Sojin's eyes went wide. That sounds terrible. Oh, it gets worse, Hyunwoo said, warming to his story. We also have funnel web spiders. Their bite can kill you in 15 minutes. And box jellyfish. Touch one tentacle and you die screaming. Then there are the snakes. We have snakes that can kill an elephant, and crocodiles that can bite a car in half. Your world sounds like a nightmare, Sojin said. That's just the animals, Hyunwoo continued. The plants are trying to kill you too. We have trees with leaves so sharp they can cut your skin just by touching them, and stinging nettles that make you feel like you're on fire. Taemin appeared at their table. His metal parts clicked as he sat down. I heard you talking about your homeworld, he said to Hyunwoo. You are exaggerating. Am I? Hyunwoo pulled up images on his datapad. Here's a huntsman spider. They're about the size of a dinner plate and they move like lightning. This one is a blue-ringed octopus. Pretty, right? One bite contains enough poison to kill 26 adult humans in minutes. Taemin looked at the pictures. His face went pale, which was impressive since half of it was metal. These creatures exist on your world? Yep. And here's the funny part. Humans live there. We don't just survive, we thrive. Kids play in backyards where these things live. We go swimming in water with sharks and jellyfish. We have barbecues. In places where deadly snakes might be hiding in the grass? But how? Sojin asked. How do you live with such danger? Hyunwoo shrugged. You learn to be careful. You check your shoes before putting them on because spiders like to hide there. You don't swim alone. You make noise when walking through tall grass so snakes know you're coming. And most importantly, you learn to laugh about it. Laugh about death? Taemin asked. Laugh about the absurdity of it all, Hyunwoo said. I mean, think about it. We live on a world where even the cute animals can kill us, but we still have beach parties and camping trips. We tell scary stories about drop bears to tourists and watch them freak out. It's funny because it's so ridiculous. So Jin was starting to understand. So when you saw the assassin, I saw another predator, Hyunwoo said. Sure, he's probably very good at killing people. But so is everything else where I come from. At least he's honest about it. Half the deadly stuff on Earth looks harmless until it's too late. But assassins are different, Taemin said. They think, they plan, they choose to kill. So do humans, Hyunwoo said quietly. We're probably the most dangerous predators on Earth, and that's saying something. We don't have claws or fangs or venom. We're not the biggest or the fastest or the strongest. But we're persistent. We never give up. We make tools. We work together. We adapt. He showed them another picture on his datapad. This is a human baby. See how helpless it looks? Now here's the same species a few years later. The next picture showed human soldiers in combat gear. We're born weak and defenseless, Hyunwoo continued, but we turn into something that can survive anywhere. We live in deserts and ice caps and jungles. We've been to the bottom of the ocean and the top of mountains. We even left our planet and came out here to space. So Jin felt a chill run down her spine. You make humans sound frightening. We can be, Hyunwoo said. But mostly we're just stubborn. We refuse to give up even when everything is trying to kill us, especially when everything is trying to kill us. A shadow fell across their table. All three students looked up to see Vextar standing beside them. The other students in the food hall noticed and quickly moved away. Human, Vextar said in his grinding voice. You speak of your world as if it were a training ground for warriors. Pretty much, Hyunwoo said, not seeming bothered by the assassin's presence. Want to sit down? The food's terrible, but the company's good. Vextar stood there for a long moment. No one had ever invited him to sit and eat with them. Most beings could barely look at him. I do not eat food, Vextar said finally. What do you eat? Hyunwoo asked with genuine curiosity. Life energy, fear. The last breath of dying enemies. Okay, that's pretty metal, Hyunwoo said. But seriously, don't you ever just want a sandwich? So-jin nearly choked on her drink. Tae-min stared in shock. No one talked to assassins like this. Vextar tilted his head, studying the human. You are strange, Hyunwoo Park from the death world called Australia. Yeah, I get that a lot, Hyunwoo said. Hey, want to see something cool? He pulled up another image on his data pad. This is my little sister wrestling a baby crocodile. She was 8 years old. Vextar looked at the picture. In it, a small human child was grinning while holding a reptilian creature with massive jaws. Your species allows children to fight deadly predators? Vextar asked. Only the small ones, Hyunwoo said. And only under supervision. It's educational. 4. The first time in his long life, Vextar felt something he had never experienced before. It might have been respect. As the assassin melted back into the shadows, So-jin turned to Hyunwoo. I think I'm starting to understand why the galaxy fears humans. We're not that scary, Hyunwoo said, finishing his terrible purple fruit. We just learned a long time ago that the universe is trying to kill everyone. The difference is, we decided to fight back. The field trip was supposed to be safe. That's what Instructor Kyleth had told them when they entered the biodome levels deep in the station. These areas were designed to recreate different alien environments for study. Each dome contained plants and animals from worlds across the galaxy. Hyunwoo walked with So-jin and Tae-min through a jungle dome that felt like home. The air was thick and humid, full of strange smells and sounds. Other students moved in careful groups, staying close to their instructors. This reminds me of the Queensland rainforest, Hyunwoo said, touching a tree with silver bark. Except the trees here have too many colors. You have forests like this on Earth? So-jin asked. She was sweating in the humid air, but Hyunwoo seemed comfortable, similar. Hot, wet, full of things that want to eat you. Though these plants seem pretty tame compared to what I'm used to. Taemin's cybernetic parts beeped softly. My sensors detect no immediate threats in this area. The dome's security systems are active. That's when the alarms started. Red lights flashed throughout the dome. A voice spoke from hidden speakers. Emergency! Containment breach in Sector 7. All students evacuate immediately. The other students panicked. Some screamed. Others ran in random directions. Instructor Kyleth tried to maintain order, but its crystal voice was lost in the noise. What's Sector 7? Hyunwoo asked, staying calm while chaos erupted around them. Taemin's metal parts clicked as he accessed his data. High security, predator containment. They keep the most dangerous specimens there. A new sound echoed through the jungle, a howl that made everyone's blood turn cold. It was followed by another, then another. Soon the air was full of hunting calls that sounded like nightmares given voice. Void stalkers, So-jin whispered, her face going white. They've escaped. What exactly are void stalkers? Hyunwoo asked. Pack hunters from Zerion Moon, Taemin said, his voice shaking. They're the apex predators of the deadliest world in known space. They hunt by scent and sound. Their claws can cut through steel. Students were running everywhere now. Some hid behind trees. Others climbed toward the dome's roof. The instructors were trying to guide groups toward the exits, but the students were too scared to think clearly. "Okay," Hyunwoo said, looking around at the panic. "This is not good." A scream came from their left. Through the thick plants, they could see a group of students cornered by something big and dark. More howls answered the first, getting closer. "We need to get out of here," Sojin said, grabbing Hyunwoo's arm. But Hyunwoo was studying the jungle around them. His eyes had changed. The friendly, laughing human was gone. In his place stood something that looked like a predator. "No," he said, quietly. "Running will just get us killed. They're pack hunters, right? They'll chase anything that runs." Another scream echoed through the dome. This time it was cut short. Hyunwoo started breaking branches off nearby trees. "Tae-min, can your cybernetics detect how many of them there are?" "Scanning. I count 6 heat signatures moving toward us. They're surrounding our position." "Perfect. Pack hunters always work the same way." Hyunwoo handed sharp sticks to Sojin and Tae-min. "They try to separate their prey and pick off the weak ones first." "What are we supposed to do with sticks?" Sojin asked, her voice shaking. "Stay alive long enough for help to arrive," Hyunwoo said. He was moving differently now, low and balanced like a fighter. "Tae-min, find us a spot with our backs to something solid. Water or a cliff would be perfect." "There's a stream about 50 meters that way," Tae-min said, pointing deeper into the jungle. "Good. We're going to move slow and quiet. No sudden movements. When they attack, and they will attack, remember that they're used to prey that runs or hides. We're going to do something they don't expect." "What's that?" Sojin asked. Hyunwoo grinned, and for a moment he looked almost as scary as the creatures hunting them. "We're going to fight back." They moved through the jungle carefully. Hyunwoo led the way, somehow knowing exactly where to step to make no sound. Behind them, shadows moved between the trees. They reached the stream just as the first Voidstalker attacked. The creature was nightmare made real. It stood twice as tall as a human, with 6 legs ending in razor claws. Its skin was black as space, and its eyes burned yellow in its skull-like head. Rows of teeth filled a mouth that could bite a person in half. It leaped from the trees straight at Sojin. Hyunwoo was faster. He caught the creature in mid-air, driving his makeshift spear into its chest while rolling backward. They hit the ground together, the Voidstalker screaming and thrashing. "The neck!" Hyunwoo shouted, wrestling with the monster. "Go for the neck!" Tae-min moved with mechanical precision, driving his stick into the creature's throat. Black blood sprayed everywhere. The Voidstalker died, but its death cry brought the others running. "Back to back," Hyunwoo ordered, pulling Sojin between him and Tae-min. "Don't let them separate us." 3 more Voidstalkers emerged from the jungle. These were smarter than the first. They circled the humans, looking for weaknesses. "They're testing us," Hyunwoo said quietly. "Looking for the easy kill. Don't give them one." One of the creatures rushed forward, then stopped just out of reach. It was trying to make them panic and break formation. "Clever girls," Hyunwoo muttered. "What?" Sojin asked. "Nothing. Old movie reference." Hyunwoo was watching the creatures, eyes reading their body language. "They're about to attack. When I say go, Tae-min, you take the one on the left. Sojin, you're with me on the right. Ready?" The largest Voidstalker made a sound like grinding metal. The others tensed. "Go!" The battle was brutal and fast. Taemin's cybernetic parts gave him extra strength, but the Void Stalker was incredibly quick. Sojin surprised herself by being brave, stabbing at the creature's legs while Yunwoo went for its eyes. The third Void Stalker tried to flank them, but Hyunwoo had expected that. He grabbed a handful of mud and stones from the stream bank and threw it in the creature's face, blinding it long enough to drive his spear through its heart. When the fighting was over, 3 Void Stalkers lay dead around them. Sojin was crying, from fear and adrenaline. Taemin's metal parts sparked where claws had struck them. Hyunwoo was covered in cuts and alien blood, but he was still standing. "Is everyone okay?" he asked, breathing hard. "How did you know how to do that?" Sojin asked. "How did you know how to fight those things?" "I didn't," Hyunwoo said. "But I know predators. They all work pretty much the same way, whether they're from Earth or space. They want easy prey. Make yourself hard to kill, and they look for something easier." Security forces arrived then, wearing heavy armor and carrying advanced weapons. They stared in shock at the dead Void Stalkers and the 3 students covered in black blood. "The situation is contained," the team leader announced. "All threats have been eliminated." "We eliminated the threats," Taemin said quietly. The security chief looked at them again, really seeing them for the first time. "Students did this?" "The human did most of it," Sojin said. "He saved our lives." From the shadows nearby, Vextar watched. He had followed them into the dome, ready to intervene if needed. But the human had handled the situation with a skill that impressed even an assassin. The boy fought like something that refused to die, which Vextar realized was exactly what he was. Director Yulrim was not happy. She sat behind her desk, her 4 arms moving in patterns that showed anger in her species. Across from her, Hyunwoo sat in a chair that was too small for humans. 3 students are in the medical bay, Director, Yulrim said. 2 more have requested transfers to other schools. The biodome will need months of repairs. And you think this is acceptable? I think staying alive is acceptable, Hyunwoo said. Would you prefer we let the Void Stalkers eat? Everyone, you could have waited for security forces. Security forces took 20 minutes to arrive. Those things could have killed 50 students in that time. Director Yulrim's arms moved faster. Your methods were too violent. This is an academy of learning, not a battlefield. Tell that to the Void Stalkers. Before Director Yulrim could respond, the door opened. Sojin walked in, followed by Taemin and a dozen other students. They had organized themselves, which was unusual. Students normally avoided getting involved in administrative matters. Director, Sojin said formally, we wish to speak in defense of Hyunwoo Park. This is not a trial, Director Yulrim said. Return to your studies. With respect, Director, Taemin said, this human saved our lives. If he is punished for protecting students, what message does that send? The message that violence is not acceptable in this institution. But incompetence is? Asked another student, a tall being with blue fur. Your security systems failed. Your containment protocols failed. This human succeeded where your technology did not. Director Yulrim stood up, all 4 arms spreading wide. Enough! The human will be suspended pending a full investigation. The students looked at each other. This was not going as they had hoped. That's when Vextar stepped out of the shadows. The room temperature seemed to drop. Several students backed toward the door. Director Yulrim's arms went rigid with fear. Director, Vextar said in his grinding voice, I request permission to speak. You You wish to defend the human? I wish to propose an alternative to suspension. Director Yulrim's fear was obvious, but she was also curious. Shadowkin assassins never involved themselves in Academy politics. Speak, she said. The Academy's board of directors has long wondered about human capabilities, Vextar said. There are many stories, but little proof. I propose we test the human properly. What kind of test? Hyun-woo asked. He wasn't sure he liked where this was going. Combat trials, stealth challenges, survival exercises, a full evaluation of human abilities compared to galactic standards. You want me to fight an assassin? Hyun-woo asked. I want to understand. What makes humans different? Vextar said. Your species interests me. Director Yulrim saw an opportunity. If the human failed the tests, she could expel him with full justification. If he succeeded, the Academy would gain valuable data about human capabilities. Very well, she said. The testing will begin tomorrow. If you fail, you will be expelled. If you succeed, the matter of the biodome incident will be considered closed. The students filed out, leaving Hyun-woo alone with Vextar. Why are you helping me? Hyun-woo asked. I am not helping, Vextar said. I am curious. In all my years, I have never met a being that does not fear me. I wish to know if that fearlessness extends to actual combat. And if it doesn't, then you will die, and my curiosity will be satisfied. Hyun-woo nodded. Fair enough. When do we start? The first test was stealth. They met in a large chamber filled with obstacles, shadows, and hiding places. The rules were simple. Hyun-woo had to reach the far end of the room without being caught. Vextar would try to stop him. Students and faculty gathered to watch through viewing screens. This was the first time anyone had seen a human tested against a Shadowkin assassin. The test began. Vextar disappeared immediately, becoming one with the shadows. Hyun-woo stood alone in the chamber, looking around carefully. Interesting, Instructor Kai-Leth said to the watching crowd. Most beings would panic when faced with an invisible assassin. The human appears calm. Hyun-woo started moving. He didn't try to be silent like Vextar. Instead, he moved steadily forward, using a technique that confused the watchers. What is he doing? Sojin asked. He's making noise on purpose. Persistence hunting, Taemin said, understanding first. Humans evolved as endurance predators. They don't rely on stealth or speed. They just never stop. Vextar attacked from behind, expecting to end the test quickly. But Hyun-woo had been listening. He rolled aside at the last second, then kept moving forward. The assassin tried again, this time from above. Hyun-woo dropped flat, let Vextar pass over him, then got up and continued toward his goal. He's not trying to fight the assassin, Sojin realized. He's just trying to complete the objective. For 20 minutes, Vextar stalked Hyun-woo through the chamber. Every attack was perfectly timed, but the humans seemed to sense them coming. He didn't fight back. He just avoided the attacks and kept moving forward. Finally, Hyun-woo reached the end of the chamber. He turned around to see Vextar standing in the middle of the room, no longer bothering to hide. How? The assassin asked. You're really good at hiding, Hyun-woo said, breathing hard. But you smell like ozone and metal. And you make a tiny sound when you move, like wind through leaves. I just learned to listen for it. The second test was direct combat. This time they faced each other in an arena with weapons provided. Vextar chose traditional assassin tools, curved blades that gleamed with poison. Hyun-woo picked up a simple metal staff. Begin, Director Yulrim announced. Vextar moved like liquid death, his blades seeking Hyunwoo's throat. The human blocked with his staff, but barely. The assassin was incredibly fast. "The human is outmatched," someone in the crowd said. But Hyunwoo wasn't trying to match Vextar's speed. He was learning. Every attack taught him something about how the assassin moved. Every block showed him the pattern. Vextar scored first blood, his blade slicing across Hyunwoo's arm. Poison entered the human system, designed to paralyze him in seconds. Hyunwoo kept fighting. "Impossible," Vextar said. "You should be paralyzed." "Australian immune system," Hyunwoo said, grinning through the pain. "I've been building resistance to toxins since I was a kid." "Occupational hazard." The fight continued. Vexatar was still faster and more skilled, but Hyunwoo was getting harder to hit. The human was adapting, learning, improving with every exchange. Finally, Hyunwoo managed to hook Vextar's blade with his staff and disarm him. For a moment, he had the advantage. But instead of attacking, he stepped back. "Draw," he offered. Vexatar stared at him. "You had the chance to strike. Why did you not take it?" "Because this is a test, not a death match. Besides, you'd probably just melt into shadows and attack me from behind." "Yes," Vextar said, "I would." The final test was psychological. Vextar used his species' mental abilities to project Hyunwoo's deepest fears into his mind. Hyunwoo saw his family dying. He saw Earth burning. He saw himself failing everyone who depended on him, and he laughed. "What are you doing?" Vextar asked, confusion clear in his voice. "You're showing me my nightmares," Hyunwoo said. "But I've been having these dreams since I was little. Everyone has. The difference is, humans learn to wake up anyway." The tests ended with both participants exhausted but alive. The watching crowd was silent, processing what they had seen. "Evaluation complete," Vextar announced. "The human is adequate." Coming from a Shadowkin assassin, that was high praise indeed. The Academy's board of directors met in emergency session. Representatives from 12 different species sat around a circular table, all talking at once. Director Yulrim tried to maintain order, but everyone had opinions about what they had witnessed. "The human's performance was unprecedented," said Counselor Vex 9, "a mechanical being from the core worlds. No organic being has ever lasted more than minutes against a Shadowkin assassin in direct combat." "That's exactly the problem," replied Counselor Thelmira, her crystalline form pulsing with agitated colors. "Humans are too dangerous. This one individual defeated security protocols that have protected us for decades." "He didn't defeat them," Director Yulrim pointed out. "He succeeded where they failed." The debate continued for hours. Some board members wanted to ban humans from the Academy entirely. Others argued that Hyunwoo's abilities could benefit all students. In the end, they reached a compromise that surprised everyone. They would invite more humans to attend. The galaxy needs to understand what humans are capable of," Counselor Vex 9 explained. "Ignorance breeds fear. Knowledge brings understanding." "And if they're too dangerous?" Counselor Thelmira asked. "Then we'll learn that too." Meanwhile, Hyunwoo sat in the medical bay while a robotic doctor treated his wounds. The cuts from Vextar's blades were healing well, but the poison had left him weak. So Jin sat beside his bed, reading from her data pad. "You're famous," she said. "The recording of your tests is being broadcast across the galaxy. Everyone wants to know about the human who fought an assassin and lived." Great, Hyunwoo said. Just what I wanted. More attention. You saved lives, Taemin said from the doorway. His damaged cybernetics had been repaired, but he still moved carefully. The board has approved new safety protocols based on your recommendations. No more single-point failures in containment systems. And they're changing the curriculum too, Sojin added. They want to add practical survival training alongside theoretical studies. Because sometimes the theory doesn't work in practice, Hyunwoo said. I get it. A shadow fell across the room. Vextar materialized from the corner where no one had noticed him lurking. Human, the assassin said. I have a question. Shoot. During our combat test, you had the opportunity to kill me. Why did you not take it? Hyunwoo thought about this. Because you weren't really trying to kill me either. This was about understanding, not winning. How did you know I was not using lethal force? Your first strike would have taken my head off if you wanted me dead. Instead, you went for my arm. You were testing me, not executing me. Vextar was silent for a long moment. In all my years as an assassin, no one has ever shown me the respect you showed in that arena. You fought honorably against a superior opponent. You're not superior, Hyunwoo said. You're just different. Your species evolved to be perfect killers. Mine evolved to be survivors. Both have their place. I have made a decision, Vextar announced. I am extending my teaching contract at this academy. Everyone stared at him. Shadowkin assassins were loners. They didn't form attachments or stay in one place for long. Why? Sojin asked. Because I wish to study human survival methods. This one has shown me that there are alternatives to killing that I had not considered. Like what? Hyunwoo asked. Like choosing not to kill when you have the power to do so. Like fighting to protect others rather than to destroy enemies. Like laughing in the face of death instead of becoming death. A few days later, the new term began. Hyunwoo found himself teaching survival classes alongside instructor Kai Leth. Students came from across the galaxy to learn human methods of dealing with danger. The first lesson was simple: how to think when everything is trying to kill you. Fear is useful, Hyunwoo told his class of nervous alien students. It keeps you alive. But panic will get you killed. The trick is to feel the fear and use it as information, not let it control you. But humans are fearless, said a young student with too many eyes. You laughed at Vextar. I laughed because I was nervous, Hyunwoo explained. Humans laugh when we're scared sometimes. It helps us deal with stress. We're not fearless. We're just stubborn. Vextar added his own lessons to the curriculum. He taught stealth and observation, but with a human twist. Instead of becoming invisible, students learned to be overlooked. Instead of moving silently, they learned to move purposefully. The human way is not about perfection, Vextar explained to his own class. It is about adaptation. They do not become the perfect predator. They become the prey that refuses to die. Sojin's thesis on human psychological resilience as an evolutionary advantage became required reading in xenopsychology classes. Taemin integrated human tactical thinking into Corvin military training programs. Their ideas spread throughout the galaxy, but the real change was smaller and more personal. Students stopped being afraid of Vextar, not because he became less dangerous, but because they learned what Hyunwoo had shown them, that respect was more powerful than fear. The assassin found himself in the strange position of having friends. Students would ask him questions about his home world. They invited him to study groups. Some even made jokes around him. Is this what humans call camaraderie? Vextar asked Hyun-woo one day as they watched students practice survival exercises. Pretty much, Hyun-woo said. It's what happens when you stop seeing others as threats and start seeing them as people. Even when they could be threats? Especially then. Some of the most dangerous people I know are also the most loyal friends. Danger and friendship aren't opposites. The semester continued peacefully until the day new students arrived for orientation. The transport ship docked, and dozens of young beings from across the galaxy filed into the Academy's main hall. Instructor Kyleth stood at the front of the room, its crystal form glowing with welcome. Students, please welcome our teaching assistants for dangerous specimen handling. The lights dimmed slightly. Students pressed back in their chairs, expecting the familiar terror of a Shadowkin assassin's entrance. Vexitar materialized from the shadows as always, his form wreathed in living darkness. But this time, he was not alone. Hyun-woo stepped out from behind a pillar, grinning at the new students. Hi, everyone. I'm the other teaching assistant. Try not to panic when the scary shadow guy shows up. He's actually pretty cool once you get to know him. Most of the new students stared in shocked silence, but in the back row, a young Altarian with green skin and silver hair started giggling. The sound was nervous, but genuine. "Oh, good," the Altarian said. "I was worried this place would be boring." Hyun-woo looked at Vextar. The assassin's red eyes seemed to glow brighter, which might have been amusement. "I think we're going to like this one," Hyun-woo said. "Indeed," Vextar replied. "Perhaps she will teach us something new about courage." As orientation continued, the old students began explaining to the new ones that the academy was different from other schools. Here, they learned that the universe was dangerous, but that danger could be faced with intelligence, humor, and friendship. They learned that sometimes the scariest-looking beings were the most trustworthy allies. They learned that humans weren't fearless. They were something much more dangerous. They were hopeful, and most importantly, they learned that laughter really was the best response to a universe that seemed determined to kill you, because if you could laugh at death, what else? Could the universe throw at you that you couldn't handle? The answer, they discovered, was nothing at all.